Hi, I'm Mojo. I'm going to talk about how I prepare lessons for SharkBridge using Bridge Composer and um, walking through how I do a lot of the things for Bridge class, including creating hands with partial hands out there. I'm using for my example the Diamond series from the ACBL Bridge series, Play of the Hand lesson. This is lesson 3, Developing Tricks, the Finesse. So it's a fairly straightforward lesson, and you may recognize this other screen as Bridge Composer. I have it open for a new screen, and this is the group activities for exercise 1, the finesse. I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts. For instance, for board edit, there's an F4, but I'm also accustomed to doing Alt B E to bring up the board edit screen. And I've taken to using exercise 1, putting that in the board number. First of all, I just pressed enter, so it records it as board exercise 1. And I always put exercise 1 or the exercise number in the comments section just below the board. That way on Shark, it will show up with the title and the number and anything else I need to know. In fact, this might be exercise 1A because it's the first example for this lesson. Now, for finesse and play lessons, it's especially important that you have a declarer with a workable dummy that the students can use to actually play the cards, even when it's a partial hand, without the distraction of other hands around. For this instance, let's use the spades. So I'm going to edit this first board. I'm pressing Alt-N, which will take me to the north hand. I'm going to put in King 4. And for the south hand, I'm going to put in 3-2. That matches the first finesse. Now I want the finesse to work, so I'm going to put the ace on the west side, and maybe on the east side I'll put the queen, but let's see. Let's continue with the rest of the hand. Jack 10, 9, and over in east, the 8, 7, 6, 5. And I believe that's all the cards in the suit. If I press OK here, I get a warning message, an edit alert that warns me that it's not a complete hand, and that's okay. Just press continue. And what you'll see here is that we have a hand that can be used to play. But that's not enough because we don't have yet a contract, and we don't have a trick. In other words, the declarer is not ready to play. So when we load this into Shark, it won't work. The students won't be able to actually play cards from the hand. So here's what we have to do. Board edit. I'm going to edit the hand again, and I'm going to put in an auction. North is the dealer on this hand, so I'm going to say pass, pass, 7, no trump. It doesn't matter. Pass, pass, pass. And then I'm going to put in a first trick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have West lead the 2 of clubs, North plays the 3, East plays the 4, and South plays the 5. So that first trick is the club 2, the club 3, the club 4, and the club 5. Let's save this. Again, the warning that it's only a partial hand. And now you see we have a contract and we have a first trick played. I'm going to save this to my desktop as, let's see, I'll save it as a desktop as Diamond 3 test.pbn. So this is now a PBN file. Let's make another hand before we test this. Let's make another hand and let's do exercise 1B, which would be this lesson, which has the ace queen 4 in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. I just did an Alt B C, Alt B C. It's this command, the copy command, and then I'm going to do board paste, and now you can see I have 2 hands in here. This is the second hand for exercise 1. The first thing I'll do is I'll change this to exercise 1B. Now let's edit the hand, and I'm just going to start by erasing all the existing cards. You don't necessarily have to do that all the time, but sometimes it's better to start with a fresh hand. So let's put in the hands from the the cards from the example. Ace Queen 4, and the South has 5 3 2. All right, let's fill in the rest. Now we want the finesse to work this time, So let's put in the king jack 10 on this side, and that would leave the 9 8 7 6 to go in the east hand. This is good. We've got an example hand here, but it's all the spades, and we haven't yet put in the cards for this trick, the club 2 3 4 5, so we can have this work. Let me show you how we do that. Let's put in the, we're going to lead from west, so the 2 comes from here, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Okay, the warning about the cards. Okay, that looks good. Now let's save this to our original hand. I'm going to minimize these for a moment. I have a Sharkbridge session running. Let me bring over the teacher's table and load deals. And I keep my my deal loading pretty empty. I don't leave any PBN files up here, but I'm going to import the PBN file that I just created, Diamond 3 Test PBN. There it is with the 2 hands that we just created. And I have a session here for Sharkbridge that I've started up. I'm connected to it. So here I am at table 1. Now here's the key to getting this to work and be an effective exercise. Assuming the students are all sitting at south. Use one of these 5 buttons here. If I just say play, it puts all the cards up. It doesn't show me anything here. If I say play preset auction, it puts in an auction, but it doesn't play the first trick. If I say play preset tricks, notice what happened. The first trick became played, the 2 3 4 5. And now what's interesting is that I can actually play this hand. I can turn on the robots and let the robots play for me, or play their hand. And now you can demonstrate that this finesse actually works. One little problem, once any hand runs out of cards, Sharkbridge puts up a score, and there's nothing you can do about that. Let's test our second hand. Again, we select the hand, and notice how it says exercise 1B here. It's very useful for navigating my way through a long lesson series. And I'll say play preset tricks. Again, it's played the first trick. We have a contract, 7 no trump, which doesn't matter. But we can actually experiment, like say run robots, let the robots play. We can actually experiment with the finesse. We can actually see the finesse work. Of course, this is a simple, straightforward finesse. Notice that if I want to, on some of the hands, I'll reset this. This takes it back to the beginning. Suppose I didn't want the finesse to work. I can right-click on the king and right-click on the 6, and those 2 will switch places. I'll click Start Play. And now, when the student tries the finesse, turn the robots on, this time it fails because I moved the king over to the other side of the table. And they play it back and we get 1 trick. Okay, I'm going to continue this with a slightly more complex example. Exercise 2 from lesson 2 in developing tricks. It's promotion end length, high card from the short side. This one is a rather complex example, but it can be done. And in the actual lesson, I've started with a blank PBN file. In the actual lesson, they're using the diamonds and the clubs, so we'll do the same thing. This is exercise 2, so let's give it the name exercise 2 so I can see where we are both in the drop down here and in Sharkbridge later. This will show exercise 2. Now let's edit the file, board edit, Alt-B-E, board edit. And in North, we're not going to put in any spades or hearts, so I'm going to use dots, which are used to separate the suits. And I'm going to put in the diamonds, King, Jack 10, 9, 8, 2, and the clubs, Ace 3, 2. For the East hand, I'm going to put in the diamonds, Ace 6, 5, dot, Queen, Jack 7, 4. Those are the diamonds and the clubs. In South, dot, dot, no spades, no hearts, Queen 4, dot, 9, 8, 5. In West, dot, dot, 7, 3, dot, King 10, 6. Okay, We've started out with the hands. We need to create an auction, and we need to find a way to get the declarer on lead so that we can actually demonstrate the exercise. Let's put in an auction. Might as well make it 7 no trump by South. And I'll use the spades this time to get around to the South hand so that we can actually test the play. We'll start with the spade 2, the spade 3, the spade 4, and the spade 5. So we've got to put those actual cards in here. I'm clicking here and I'm making sure the cursor is in the right place. So West gets the 2, North gets the 3, East gets the 4, and South gets the 5. Let's check this out. Okay, we've got the warning about being only a partial hand. This looks like it might work. Let's save this as a test file. On the desktop, let's make it diamond2 test.pbn. And let's go to Shark and see what else we might need to do for this hand. We don't want the old one here, but we can let's just import the new diamond2 test here. And let's go to our test login page. All right, I'm going to select this class. Let me bring up the teacher table too so we can see it both. I'm going to select play with preset tricks. This puts us here. Now, one problem with actually playing this hand as a demonstration is that the South hand has 5 cards, the North hand has 9 cards, and the West hand has 5 cards as well. Here's the problem. As soon as one hand runs out of cards, Sharkbridge is going to stop. And they'll put up a score sheet. So you may not be able to run this exactly, but you can, let's see, we can demonstrate. I have a note on this that the robots don't play it exactly the way I want. So when you demonstrate this hand, you may need to actually play the hand from the teacher's table. As you can see here, I am actually playing the hand from the teacher's table. And since I only gave them clubs and diamonds, when they lead back a club, we can now demonstrate how the hand works. And now we can take the rest of our tricks. Of course, we can't carry on because South and West will run out of cards. Let's reset, play preset tricks. Let's reset and see if we can demonstrate the case that doesn't work. I'm going to lead the 4 to the king, and declare is going to hold up. And now I'll let declare take the second trick. Well, that wasn't what we wanted to do either, was it? Let's start from the beginning. Okay, retake. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go back to the beginning and see if we can demonstrate how the process might fail. I'm going to play it from the teacher's table. I'm going to win incorrectly. I'm going to win the high card from the long side rather than the short side, and then lead back to my queen. East is going to hold up the ace for a second time, and now we can cross over to our ace of clubs, and now we can see that the opponents will win the ace of diamonds, and there's no way that we can get back to our diamonds. So that seems to work. I think we're all the way back to the start. You can show all the cards like this. You can put in additional cards if you want to play further through, but you'll have to put them in different suits. So that's a slightly more complex example. And of course, the most common and actually the easiest hands to prepare for lessons are full deals. And when you have a full deal that you want to demonstrate, you can do that just by making a new board. Let's go to here. You can put in the deal number, and let's see, it's deal 4 for this particular lesson, lesson 3, developing tricks. If you press the auto button here, it'll set the dealer and the vulnerability. These lessons don't have vulnerability that matters. And now is when you put in the cards the cards for the hand. The syntax in the Northeast Southwest here is to use spades, dot hearts, dot diamonds, dot clubs. So I'm just copying from the PDF file for the lesson plan. Ace 4, Ace Queen Jack 965, 954, Ace King, King Jack 8, 7, King Queen Jack. Whoops. Now you see, one of the nice things that Bridge Composer does is that when you type a card that's already been placed or an illegal character, it flashes for you. So you know to go back and to correct. This is the King Jack 3, 2, and then the clubs for this hand, the Queen Jack 4. I press Tab to advance to the south hand. I get Queen 7, 3, 10, 3, 2, Ace 7, 6, 7, 6, 5, 3. And of course there's no need to enter the fourth hand. Bridge Composer will do that for you automatically. Now I'd like to put in the auction here. West is the dealer on this hand and West is passing. So it goes 1 heart. Let's see. North bids 1 heart. East has a good suit and an opening bid. So let's give them 2 diamonds. South has a 2 heart bid. West passes. North has a 4 heart bid. And then we're going to pass, pass, pass. And then what I like to do is to put in the opening lead, which is the Diamond King, DK. And this creates a full, complete hand. This was exercise 12, so I'm going to put in some notes here for me. This shows up on Shark Bridge, and I'm just going to make a note that it's 4 hearts by North. To make the heart key, of course, I did \H, and that makes it the little heart symbol in there. Now, there's no reason you're not going to use the auction and the lead. You're going to walk through that with the students probably, but when you do that in Shark, you'll see that it's just a handy reference for you to have there. So if I bring the teacher's table back over and the load deals window, and let's see, this is Diamond 2 test. I'm going to delete my old copy of it, which is why I never keep old ones around. The PBN files are always my master copies. Let's bring in the Diamond 2 test, and here is exercise 12. Let's look at my table. I'm still connected to the table. That's good. Now this time I don't say play preset tricks. I could, but if I'm just walking through the class for the first time, you can see I'm sitting here at South, but I can show all the cards, and we can walk through the bidding and the play with the students. Now, if I want, one of the handy things about having the actual auction and the opening lead in the PBN file means that I could use a shortcut. I can say play preset auction here, and notice that it sets up the auction and it's all set for an opening lead. And let's see, there's the King of Diamonds opening lead. And now you can talk about Declarer's plan if you like to. If I say play preset tricks, it comes up and it actually makes the opening lead. So it does all of the parts that you have entered, and now you can actually hand this over to the students and you can have them play it. So there's my process. There's a lot of detail in there. A lot of these exercises are difficult to construct, but once I have them in a PBN file that I can load into Shark, I'm all set to teach class. These days it takes me usually a little bit less than an hour to prepare an hour-and-a-half lesson. And once I have these lessons, I can repeat the class in the future with very little adjustments. It is important that you play test your PBN files before you present them in a class, because you will find mistakes. You'll find that you forgot to put in the auction, or you missed a card on a lead, or it doesn't behave the way you wanted it to. And always double check these robots. If you blindly let the robots do the bidding for you, you will get surprises. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm saying that they don't match the lesson plan. So test all of your PBN files carefully, and good luck with your classes. Thank you so much, and cheerio.